Can we confirm we can be heard?
Exactly.
Not really.
No.
All right, 6:30, Jack.
All right, I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Hinckley Township Board of Trustees to order on Tuesday, June 20 at 6:30 p.m. I will call the roll. Augustine.
Here.
Sweattick here. Trustee Asheville has an excused absence. Fiscal Officer Catherwood has an excused absence. The police chief and this young man, second in command, joining us this evening. I'd like to ask everybody to join me in honor of the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for joining us this evening. First, I will look at the approval of the minutes. Move to approve the minutes for June 6, 2023 regular trustee meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine. Any discussion?
None.
I think the attendance needs to be checked and corrected because the way I read it, it says the fiscal officer was not here, and I know she was. So if we could have that checked, I would, and also confirm the adjournment time.
Okay. Do you want to hold off and wait till we can make those adaptations?
Yes, I think I will.
Okay.
All right. So at this time, we will not approve those minutes. The second, we moved to approve the minutes for the June 14, 2023 special trustee meeting.
Second.
Second by Augustine. I have a correction. The paragraph of resolution 06142302, the last sentence should read subject property as described in the ODOT letter of intent. I left out the word letter when I forwarded it to them. So they just did a cut and paste.
Okay.
Just need the other word letter inserted.
So we'll hold off on those as well.
No, that's okay. We'll approve as amended if you have anything else.
Second as amended.
Second as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Police.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I've got the two items on my agenda plus an additional one. Approval to replace the two lower garage door openers through ASAP Door Company at a total cost of $1,246.50. Both of these openers were part of the original build 23 years ago. One of them caught fire and blew up, so it's out of service, and the other one's been causing us some problems. So we just want to replace both of them and be done with it.
So 23 years, no warranty still?
No, I tried.
Motion for that?
Yes, please.
Okay, motion to approve as requested with the estimate from ASAP Door in the amount of $1,246.50 for the replacement of the subject openers at the police department.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item, we'll need a resolution to enter into the 5-year contract with Ohio Business Machines for the copier printer contract for the police department and the fire department as outlined in the email I sent to the board. The monthly cost for both departments is $730.
And that will be split 50-50.
It will be split. The police department will get 450 of that because we have the most equipment, and our copiers, while the same copier, we have a fax machine in ours, they don't. So there's some nuances that they don't have. So in the email, I outlined what the split was, and I believe it was 450 for the police department,
280 for FD,
and 280 for FD.
Okay.
Email here somewhere, I can tell you.
All right. I will move for a resolution to enter into a 5-year contract with Ohio Business Machine for copier and printer service for the police and fire departments at a monthly cost of $730 in accordance with the details estimate provided by Ohio Business Machine.
Do you want to outline the split?
Do you have a split amount there? What was the amount?
Bear with me one moment.
You have it at the cost $450.10 for PD and
And
$281.
That is
for
correct.
FT.
That's the split.
What was it, 280 what?
$281 for the fire department, and PD is $450, 10 cents.
It was amended.
I'm going to move as amended.
Okay, I will second that. Then I will call the roll on that one. Sweattick, yes. Augustine.
Yes.
That for you, Chief?
I have one more item that came up today. Before you is a training request to send Sergeant Schroll to the FBI LEDA Media and Public Relations course to be held at the Ohio State Highway Patrol Academy, August 14th through the 18th, at a total cost for the course, lodging, and food of not to exceed $1,700.
So moved.
And what does this entail, Chief?
It's a 5-day course put on by the FBI. I've attended it myself. I will tell you it's extremely informative and will be beneficial to Mike's role in leading the department in the future. There's dealing with the media, and the complexities of that are very important to build those working relationships with the media and understanding, how to deal with all of that, especially in a time of crisis.
This would be information you'd be able to share with the other personnel in the department.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Right, second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Chief.
Fire.
Good evening. We just had 2 items as well. First off, request to move firefighter paramedic Victor Ugren from cadet pay of $14.78 per hour to full paramedic pay $18.58 per hour effective immediately, as he has completed his cadet obligations.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Secondly, we request for appropriations not to exceed $1,500 for emergency repairs to Squad 37 from Burgess Ambulance. And again, I gave you the outline quote sheet for the air ride system that we've been having problems with. So they've limited down what it needs. And this should fix it.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion?
Want to
Okay.
mention the costs, the 1,300. Oh, not to
Not to
exceed
exceed
1,500. You said it. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Anybody from the public have anything for Chief or Fire? Okay, gentlemen, if you got anything else to do, better place to be.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good evening.
Have a
gentlemen.
great evening.
Have a good night.
We have nothing from zoning this evening. Service. So what is zoning?
We have the resolution for 25 River Road. Do you have a copy of that, Trustee Sweattick?
I do. I would like to table this, considering the chief's comments and that Trustee Asherle is not here. I would prefer the entire board be here to discuss this.
Okay, just so the public knows, I did ask the police chief prior to the meeting if he had conversation with Trustee Asherle in regard to this. That was part of our discussion at the last meeting, so that's fine. We can table it
Very good.
for tonight. And second thing on my list for zoning was clarification on trustees' role in zoning. We have had a lot of people say that, we are working as trustees collectively with the developer who is actually a resident on the parcels here in Town Center. And that is not the case. We do not have anything to do with zoning. We do not approve or deny businesses or developments or homes being built. Or businesses being built. So I just wanted to offer that clarification for the public. All of that goes through our zoning commission and our BZA. And that's all I have for zoning.
Okay. I'm going to back up one. I have something for the fiscal officer. And this is I'll make a motion. Copied everything but the motion. Stand by. Motion to adopt a resolution which approves the following reallocation of funds, $20,000 from Fund 1000-720-720-0000 buildings to Fund 1000-110-360-0000 contracted services. And this is to provide funding for the annexation appeal.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So it's buildings to contracted
Contracted
services.
services, yes. Next, I just have a note that Trustee Asherle sent this morning. There's a story in the Gazette this morning about an invasive species buyback program being handled by Medina County Soil and Water District. If you look in there this morning, it's they talk about the invasive species that are in some of the plantings that are around. And if you take and eradicate those and provide them with evidence, that photographic evidence, they'll look at it. And then in the fall, they will offer you a chance, not a chance, but an exchange to get something else to plant, some other trees to plant that are native to Ohio. And all the information's in there. It's a worthwhile program, especially if you have some of these invasive species that you don't want to have in the area. Something to look at. Trustee Augustine.
So at the last meeting, we had talked about rescheduling our July 4th meeting to July 5th. I have my calendar pulled up here. I sent all of you an email the next morning. I had forgotten that I have a Medina County Planning Commission meeting that night. And typically I would absolutely skip that, but they wanted to guarantee a quorum with the holiday travel. And so I had already said that I would definitely be in attendance at that meeting. Is there another day that works best for you that we could potentially share with?
I had initially offered the 5th and 6th of that week. Those are the two that I could do. We agreed on the 5th. The 6th, the problem with the 6th is the zoning meeting is here that night as well.
Meeting, correct.
So we would still have a quorum. I would say go ahead with the 5th. And maybe in the interim, they can find an alternate to sit in at the Planning Commission meeting if you still want to attend here on the 5th.
Okay, so we're staying with the 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving right along, I wanted to share, and I don't know, Trustee Sweattick, if you had a chance to look at the spreadsheet, the database that was shared with us right before the last meeting as it pertained to the water infrastructure. But what I've done is I've culminated a map and color coded it. And I was really surprised because at the last meeting, one of the things that was stated by Trustee Asherle was that there were, let me read this, 27 yeses, 8 for Gaffney, 4 for Binky Commons, and then 3 for Foster's, being very specific as it pertained to the B3 district. But if you look at the map, everything in yellow is a yes for the assessment as it pertained to the water infrastructure letter that went out. Everything in blue is a no. Everything in green is no response. And everything that's brown is township property, which I don't think should be considered at all. One of the things that the letter had said was that no response was equivalent to a no. And I think in the past, the township has actually has either said they aren't going to have any response and they're not going to be counted, or they're going to say yes, that they would want water infrastructure. So if we were to look at this map, we actually have a very large group of businesses that would like to see water in town center. I spoke with one of the business owners that was a no response that owned several parcels. And he said that he just didn't get the letter in time. By the time he got it, sifting through his mail, he realized he wasn't going to make the deadline in returning a response. So what I'd like to do, if we can, is to send another letter to the no responses and give them a fair opportunity to dictate if they would like a yes or a no.
I would like for the board to meet collectively to decide on something like that again. I mean, we sent this out. I didn't tabulate the information that came in. front office did, gave us the information. And the percentage that responded in the affirmative under the guidelines that were provided was way below the threshold to send it to the county even.
Well, if we look at the B3, which was option A, I think we're at 50%. And I think it should be noted that Hinckley Elementary School, every single person that lives in Hinckley should know that Hinckley Elementary School voted yes, that they would definitely be assessed in moving forward with water.
So what are you saying the yes total is for?
If I'm looking at the B3 on the option A, you're at 50%. Without sending out more letters.
That's still not an overwhelming argument to send to the county.
Well, that's what they needed to move forward was 50%.
No, it was not. They said an overwhelming response in the affirmative.
Okay, so what I think we should do is we should definitely have some consideration at the next meeting, since we can't make a decision as a full board. We can have a quorum on July 5th, but we can't have a quorum tonight. So we'll make a decision on whether Hinckley Township properties are a yes or don't count at all. We'll make a decision on whether the no responses deserve an additional mailing, because we've already sent out this letter. We're already using taxpayer dollars to move forward. I had one resident say, I was on my honeymoon. I didn't respond. I was on my honeymoon. And then we'll make a determination as to the percentage amount. I'll talk to the county on that.
Can I just, if you don't include the township parcels, then the cost to everyone else goes up.
In the past, township parcels were a yes when this was done.
So yes.
Yes.
The answer would be yes. I'm sorry for the recording, Nikki.
Yeah.
Okay, Nikki Long.
Any questions on that before we move forward?
No, move along.
Okay. So the resident communication is also on my agenda. Just quickly want to let everyone know, we have our emails and our phone numbers on the website. That is the best way to reach us. There's been a lot of back and forth on Facebook. We will always do our best. I will always do my best to answer and respond to questions and things on Facebook, but it's very difficult for me to keep track of when I'm keeping track of all of the emails and phone calls and text messages that I get in this position. So I just ask that when residents want to communicate, that they do it through a township means, which is obviously our phone and email. And that's all I have.
Or come to a meeting.
Or come to a meeting.
I will not respond to you on Facebook because I don't have Facebook. So, all right. I already did the fund transfer annexation resolution. And the only other thing I have for consideration, and we'll wait until everybody's here as well, is once we expend the funds up at Brookside right now to capture the ARPA money, that estimate, that'll leave us with about $270,000 that needs to be captured so that we don't lose it. And I'd like the board to look at doing some supplemental work on Bethany. I asked for a cost estimate to do the engineering work and to capture the worst of what's remaining up there on Bethany. So I'll be bringing that to the board to look at once I get that.
I did speak to Mike about that. I think that's a great idea.
All right. Anything from the public?
Tom Schrader's.
Come on up, Tom.
Oh, sure.
What was the duration on the receipt of letter versus for the water? If people didn't get it, how long were they allowed to respond? We know roughly, just out of curiosity. I mean, it doesn't impact me. I don't live there, but
It says the responses were due by May 12th.
and we mailed it on.
I don't know the exact date that we mailed it. The letter that I have here is a draft that was dated April 24th, but I know that looking at the spreadsheet, some of these didn't go out until the 5th of May. And I don't know what the other dates were.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like they try to designate when they received the response, but not when. I don't know when it went out.
Okay. I mean, I was just curious if it was a reasonable time or not. If it was a few business days, it might not have been a reasonable time. Whether your vote's yes or no, I think, you know what I mean?
No, I would, I'm sure
Yeah.
at least a week.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good evening, Cindy Engelman, Ridge Road. This might be a run-on sentence, but just want to inform the public that last Wednesday, I officially kicked off my campaign for Township Trustee election in November on Facebook through my Facebook page, Cynthia Engelman for Trustee. And just want to share that with the public. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. With nothing else for the good of the order, I will move to adjourn at 6:51.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.